What's up, everyone? It's your girl who is, in fact, Dad Aspie, and I thought I would give you a little bit of a taste of what my commute to the job that pays my bills currently might look like. Now, the reason I say might is because the commute I have kind of varies depending on what day it is and what location and what program I am working. Essentially, the company I work for sends us out to different locations, kind of like independent contractors or freelance, if you will. And most of the time, I end up working somewhere in Manhattan or parts of Brooklyn, like you see in this video, that are closer to Manhattan, which is great because I live in Upper Manhattan. For the majority of my commutes in this case, I end up taking the subway, at least one train. Sometimes I transfer to one or two other ones, but it depends on the location. Now, there is one after-school program in the Bronx, and typically if I'm in the Bronx, it tends to be a little deeper in there, where I would need to take a bus. And after I do that trip a couple of times, I can figure out where I'm going. But normally, I really hate taking the buses in New York City. Like I said, the programs I work depend on the day and depend on what I'm scheduled for, and that is generally subject to change for a variety of reasons. And sometimes I end up working more than one program in a day, so the commute is not always straightforward. But in this video I'm showing you a commute that is the same forwards and backwards to get to the program and back home. Thankfully with this one I only had to transfer once, and the transfer happens to be to a train line I don't use very often, so sometimes I forget how short the G trains are in comparison to other trains. But no matter the commute, it usually ends with a little bit of walking to finally get to the location. And yeah, the programs I will typically work are either after school, sometimes it's a curriculum program, sometimes it's a lunch program, sometimes it's a day camp. It, again, depends on the day. But in general, if I commute anywhere into the city, I tend to lean towards the subway just because it is the most reliable, and I use reliable loosely. Because although the New York City subway system is probably one of the best ones in the world, it's got its issues. Let me put it this way. Anytime I'm taking the train, I usually try to give myself a buffer of at least 15 to 30 minutes, because you never know when a train's gonna shut down, when it's gonna delay for whatever reason because of the signal. Maybe someone dropped something on the train and they have to stop, or something broke, there's flooding, weather, whatever. There's a variety of reasons that there could be delays in traveling. And the reason why I say I really don't like taking the buses is because that kind of depends on road traffic, and depending on where you are in New York City, it can get a bit shoddy. So the buses are not always a very reliable mode of transportation. Although it is better than nothing, it can be a bit of a pain. At least for me personally. So, general word of advice to anyone who decides to visit New York City: if you need to get anywhere in a rush, try to give yourself some extra time, because you never know when shit happens. And it does. I also recommend checking the MTA website anytime you're going somewhere in New York City to make sure there isn't any construction or things like that. But yeah, that's about all I got for this video for now. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked it, my name is Laura, and I am Dad Aspie. If you didn't like this, I'm Whiskey in the Jam Jar. And I'll see you all next time. Bye!